We're joined now by the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington. Congressman, thank you for taking some time to be with us today. President Biden saying he's decided on a response for the drone attack in Jordan that killed these 3 service members. Do you expect that he will come to Congress ahead of time?
Well, he won't come to Congress broadly. They do typically give heads up to key committee chair and ranking members, to the leadership about what they're going to do. They may well do that. But no, he won't make a broad statement to Congress because we certainly don't want to warn Iran about what we're planning on doing.
At what point does he need to engage Congress more, as you have Democrats saying that this is getting to the point where this isn't just sort of a one-off thing, this is a more concerted, continued conflict that the president needs to engage Congress in more?
Well, there's 2 separate questions there. I mean, first of all, the president has engaged Congress. The president and his national security team has briefed and had conversations with key leaders. Certainly, I've had those conversations about what's going on with the Houthis in Yemen, about what's happening with, obviously, the militias, the Shia-backed militias, Iran-backed militias in Iraq and Syria. The question you're getting at is, does he need congressional authorization to take military action? In my view right now, this is still very clearly within the self-defense framework. The Houthis specifically attack U.S. targets. These militias in Iran have specifically attacked U.S. targets. So he's in self-defense mode, and I think constitutionally he has the authority to do that.
What is the goal, as you see it, of a retaliatory strike?
The goal is to get Iran to change its calculus. Iran does not want a wider war. They are on thin ice. The Iranian government is on thin ice with their people right now. Anything that further disrupts the life in Iran just makes things worse for Iran. But right now, they're getting all the benefit and no cost. They are attacking U.S. forces. They are, supporting Hezbollah, supporting Hamas with no cost. We have to get them to change that calculation. And another key part of this, what Iran wants more than anything is they want the U.S. out of the Middle East. And what we have to make clear to them is these sorts of attacks are going to have the opposite effect. We are going to need to be present. Our Arab partners in the region, like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Bahrain, are going to want us there if they continue to see Iran as this type of threat. So we have to change Iranian calculus. That's the goal.
What changes really the calculus? If the Biden administration efforts so far they've not deterred Iran's proxies. When former President Trump took out the head of the Quds Force, it spawned an uptick in proxy retaliations. We saw U.S. service members killed in the wake of that. What could actually stop these attacks on U.S. bases in the region?
Well, I think it's a really complicated question, and I think you put it really well in terms of the challenges there. I mean, look, the answer from former President Trump and others is you just got to hit them, and hit them hard, and that'll make them change their mind. And I don't agree with that, because then they have to defend themselves. So there's multiple things. One, you do have to make it clear that there's a cost for this sort of attacks, but we also have to make it clear that the Middle East is big enough for all of us. If Iran feels existentially threatened, then they're going to hit back even harder. And another piece of this is the conflict in Gaza. If we continue down a path where there is no future for the Palestinians, that empowers Iran, because they argue that the Houthis and all of these other proxies are acting to defend the Palestinians. And that's not true. Iran is trying to exercise domination in the Middle East. It's why they've been messing in Lebanon, they're messing in Syria, they're messing in Yemen. But if they can use the Palestinians, that gives them an argument. So your previous story about trying to get to some sort of resolution to the conflict in Gaza is crucial. And it's crucial that Prime Minister Netanyahu starts to chart a path where the Palestinians have a future. Saying that they don't extends the conflict and empowers Iran.
I do want to listen to how the administration is describing this conflict. Here was Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh yesterday.
No one is disputing the fact that we are continuing to see the Houthis threaten commercial shipping, our own military ships that are in that region in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. We are seeing skirmishes between Hezbollah and the IDF. But again, the conflict does remain contained to Gaza.
So it's a rather siloed explanation. We also saw sort of a siloed explanation when it came to the administration parsing between the SEALs who died off the coast of Somalia on their mission where they were interdicting Iranian-made weapons that were headed for the Houthis in Yemen. Are Biden administration officials being as forthright as they should be about how big and interconnected this conflict in the Middle East has become so that the American people will truly understand that?
No, I believe that they are. And look, there's no doubt that this has become big and interconnected and has been for a while. But when we talk about whether or not this war spreads, obviously it has spread in some ways beyond Gaza with the Houthis and others. But understand, it could spread a lot more. And what the Pentagon and others in the White House are talking about is if Hezbollah decides to full-on go to war with Israel, or if Iran decides to full-on go to war with our forces, if Iran actually starts launching these attacks instead of having their proxies do it, it could spread a lot wider and become a much bigger war. So when the administration talks about containing, that's what they're talking about. Yes, this is a very dangerous situation that has spread beyond Gaza already, but it has not spread into the kind of full-scale conflict that would be vastly worse than what we're looking at right now.
Congressman Adam Smith, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for the chance.